How do we stop them when they're at risk and easily triggered? I guess it comes back a little bit to some of the stuff we were talking about with distraction and planning. Again, I feel like there's a big link between question one and question two here, isn't there? Distraction, planning, maintaining your own calm. And if you've got a child who is what we would consider risky, again, I always wonder about how that's portrayed in some social work reports.
Mhm.
What does risky actually look like to everybody? What does it mean? What are we seeing? What are we doing about it? But easily triggered, we do need to be maintaining our own sense of calm. We do need to be planning. We need a plan B, C, D, E, F, all the letters. And we need to be thinking really well ahead, I guess, as well.
I think if we know that we have a child who can display some of those more risky behaviours, like,
Mm,
I don't know, a small child not holding your hand across the road because they don't like physical
mm,
contact, um, then that's when we've got to come up with a different plan. So it might be that they have to hold your arm. Um, we very exciting. I'm going to share a little story with you. Uh,
go
we
for it. Love a story.
we went and watched Diversity, the dance group, at the
No.
weekend. It was incredible. Please, if you like Diversity, it's an incredible show, and the storyline is epic. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. But my story is, it was absolutely heaving because we were not the only people who are going to watch Diversity. I know it's a
Mhm.
shocker. Um, there were
No private performance.
thousands of people, and I had 3 children with me, 2 of which get very easily distracted, and I could lose them in the crowd incredibly easily because they would
Mm,
just stare at something and then wander off, and yeah, I mean, it was a risky situation
mm,
to put us in. So what we did and these, they're 12. They don't want to be holding my hand. That's a bit, someone from school might see them. But what they did, we kind of made a little bit of a crocodile line, and one of them held onto my handbag strap on my shoulder, and then the one behind them held onto their hoodie top, and then the one behind them held onto their bag, and then my
mhm.
husband pulled up, took up the rear, so to speak. So we had a little row of ducks all going along.
Nice. Nice.
That, although sounds very complicated, and I'm sorry for the long story, but it's such a simple thing to put in place. So if you have a child that might easily wander off or walk off, get them to hold onto your bag. If they let go of the bag, stop, and then teach
Mm,
them to come back. I need to keep you safe. You need to hold on to my bag. You don't need to hold my hand, but you do need to hold on to my bag because it's really, really busy, or we're by a
mhm,
busy road. And do that
mhm.
level of explaining so that they understand the why behind your decision. Um, if it's risky, when you're driving, think about the seating arrangements. I have seating arrangements everywhere. There's a seating arrangement at the dining table so that we don't have
Mhm,
arguments and
mhm,
fallings out. There's seating arrangement in the lounge on the sofa so that nobody can fight and fall out. But we also have a seating arrangement in the car,
mhm.
so people don't fight and fall out. But we also
Sure.
started that because any car journey would be really, really hard for one of my young people to deal with. And
Yeah.
he would just lash out at me, which was really dangerous when I was driving, so he never sat
Yeah.
behind me. I mean, I learnt the hard way,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
he never sat behind me. We sat him in a place where he couldn't kick me or try and strangle me with a seatbelt or do any of that kind of stuff. So it is about that forward thinking of,
Mm,
right, we're gonna go to the shop. If my child's pushing the trolley and they keep 2 hands on the trolley, then I know they're not gonna steal stuff. Or, um, if we're going to a clothing store and it's quite busy and they're holding onto my handbag, I know where they are. They're not gonna hide in and amongst the clothes rails, and then I've lost them.
yeah.
Does that make sense, do you think?
Definitely. Definitely.